Okay.
Ready, Daddy?
Yeah, I am ready. I just want to sit here and relax with our little fire, our lanterns.
I just do a little bit
All right, we got Matt and riding Humboldt County. What's up, guys? I just wanted to get out of the house for a few minutes. I got my little boy over here. We built just a tiny little fire. We'll see how long it lasts. Out here in the woods, got this Dietz lantern. Did a short video on. What are you guys up to today? Camo Campa, what's happening? All good here. Got the little boy. We're just chilling out in the woods. He's got a apple juice box. I've got a bottle of beer. We're just gonna sit here, enjoy the sounds of nature for a while, and figured I'd do a live video. Been a while since I went live. Kind of had a lazy day. I wanted to get out for a hike, but didn't happen. Sean, what's going on? Got Luke out here. We're just sitting around, build a little fire. BC Gerbs. Hope you're doing well. Huh? You want to show them your tongue?
Put this down so Kenton notice it.
He wants to show you his Batman shirt. And what's on your hat? Spider-Man. It's been warm here too, Gerbs. Rained a lot yesterday and cooled it down a bit finally, but yeah, it's definitely been in the 90s. Didn't really know if I'd be able to actually build a fire or not out here if it was too wet, but I got a few sticks of fat wood in there toking this thing up. Nah, not camping. I had wanted to this weekend, but it rained a lot this week, and it gets pretty flooded when it rains a lot down in this wooded area. So I didn't check it this morning, yesterday, or anything, but it actually didn't. Like sometimes, like the entrance to these woods, it just gets turned into a pond. Oh, one guy likes your hat. No rain in 2 months. Oh man, that's not too good there, Matt. It's we've had a relatively decent amount of rain this summer here in Virginia. I think where my parents live in Pennsylvania, they've had a real dry summer. So maybe north of here, from Pennsylvania up to Ontario, gets a little dry. Or anybody else camping? Hey, riding Humboldt. Have a good one, man. Have fun at the premiere. Sounds interesting. I didn't really have a topic of conversation.
This time we build a fire.
Anybody want to have a topic, or I could tell a story? History, tales from history. That's what I've usually done. You like that? No, no, no. You can't blow that out.
And you got a lantern here for a fire.
Yeah, you need to sit that down.
I can hold it from here.
Well, set it on the ground with yours. That's going to get very hot.
Now we all got lights.
Hugh and Kentucky going camping next weekend. Oh, what am I carrying? Well, I did have my Emerson Commander folder on me today. Out here in the woods, I got my LT Wright Shamanese, the long knife.
Now it's
Great
going
knife.
down.
Handle is super comfortable and got a 6 3/4 inch blade there. So I got that on my hip. Of course, I can't get it back in the sheath. There we go.
Now,
What do you got today, Gerbs?
now I got kind tails.
Looks like our fire's dying out a little bit. Let's see if we can get some of these sticks pushed over.
Daddy, it needs a little bit more.
It needs more?
Daddy, it needs some more fire in it.
Ah.
Daddy, it needs some more fire.
Well, we're not going to have more fire.
Why?
Well, because we just don't have a lot of wood to burn. Do you hear all those birds and bugs in the background?
No.
No?
Why do I
BPS Savage, Sat Camper, Gerber Flip Multi-Tool. Very nice. I'll have to look up that BPS Savage. I'm not sure what that exact model is, but I like a lot of the knives that BPS brand makes. They make some good looking stuff. Luke, you can't blow out that fire.
How can I blow out?
It's inside there, so that it can't be blown out.
So how did you put that in there?
Oh.
Daddy, how did you put that in there? How did
Huh?
you put the fire in?
Well, inside there is some oil.
Hmm?
Yep, and oil is very flammable. And there's a wick. A
Right.
wick is like a piece of string, and it soaks up the oil. And then I lifted up that glass, and I lit that wick with a lighter. So now it's kind of like a candle.
Oh,
Yeah.
now it's hot.
Oh. Hey, our fire,
It's very a little bit.
pretty small. Oh well. I didn't really gather any wood. Here, bring this lantern over here. How's the light on this side?
And then the light on this side too.
Yeah, set it down. Oh. Come on, sit down. So let me. So you got some rats shooting here, huh?
It's a little bit hot.
So let me tell you a story about that knife I have on me. So it's designed by a guy.
Daddy, it's
Huh?
really dark now.
Yeah, it is very dark now.
We have to go home.
Not yet. We have our lanterns so we can see.
Oh, when it's blew out.
So that knife, designed by a guy, Craig Caudle, who runs Nature Reliance School, teaches survival and outdoor skills. This is actually one of their hats that I'm wearing. can see on it, it has a long knife on it, because he lives in Kentucky and he's real into 18th century history from there, like the long hunters, which we'll talk about here.
Daddy?
And that leaf is from
Daddy,
an American chestnut tree.
Daddy,
Huh.
I love you.
Love you too.
Daddy, I'm not seeing.
So the American chestnut tree was thought to be extinct, killed in a blight, I think early 20th century. But this guy Craig, he found one in the woods one day and reported it. I don't know, maybe they'll make a comeback. Here, get down so you don't fall.
I'm not gonna fall.
You might fall.
I gotcha.
Stoke that fire up a little bit. We've got wanted some fire there for some smoke to keep the mosquitoes at bay. Of course, we got some bug spray on too, but anyway, the long hunters and frontiersmen of Kentucky are what inspired Craig to design that Chamonix knife. The name itself, Chamonix, is the word described the long hunters and frontiersmen by the Shawnee people that...
No, it's going higher and higher.
Yeah, how'd that happen? The Shawnee tribe that lived in the area of the Ohio River in what's now Ohio, and then they would use Kentucky as their hunting ground. A few different tribes did that. The Shawnee came down from the north, and the Cherokee would come up from the south. And in like the 1770s, really, people from Virginia and elsewhere,
Daddy, where's
Pennsylvania,
that
started
Daddy,
coming
where's
down.
That light?
Oh, that's lights from the building over there on the other side of the creek. Yeah. So people started floating down the Ohio River, mostly just a few dudes looking for game, trapping, and such, and would go back to the civilized world in Virginia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, some, and sell the hides and make a decent living so they could support their family. And one of the men that did that, his name was Simon Kenton. And Simon Kenton was born in the mountains that are right over this way near my home here in Virginia. We actually have a historical marker sign noting his place of birth just up the highway here, about 2 miles. Simon Kenton grew up here in Virginia till he was 16, when he got in a fight with a guy over a girl, and he beat the snot out of him and thought he was dead. So he made a run for it because he didn't want to be hanged. And he made his way eventually into West Virginia, met some people, and up to Fort Pitt, which is now Pittsburgh, and joined a couple other guys and floated on down into Kentucky, what we now know as Kentucky. They did call it Kentucky back then as well. Kentucky, more of an Indian word for the place. Plentiful game, good land for farming, because it was untouched by white English settlers at the time. Hey, Mattis Faxon, thanks for hopping on, man. Good to see you here. So Simon Kenton, young man, probably 18 or so by the time he got to Kentucky, because he kind of hid out for a bit using fake names. Eventually he took the last name Butler from a guy he stayed with who ran a mill, in what is now Warm Springs, Virginia, which just happens to be right near where I asked my wife to marry me. Didn't know that at the time because I didn't know of Simon Kenton yet. But early on, when he was still learning the ways of the frontier and how to kind of protect himself from Indian attacks, he was with a buddy, another real young guy, and an older gentleman who had been to Kentucky before and knew his way around a little bit. And they were camped out, sitting around the fire, kind of like we are right now. Let me see if I can push some of these sticks on.
And some leaves are really close.
So that we can actually have fire here. So those guys were sitting around the fire one night, and it had rained that day. So they had their clothes sitting near the fire, I guess draped across some rocks, drying. And they were sitting around naked as the day they were born. And white people really were not supposed to be in this area. It was Indian land. All right, maybe those sticks there will light up a little bit. And a group of Indians came up to this party of three. A little smoke here on this fire. And surprised them. All three of them naked. Their clothes around. Rifles were out of reach.
Daddy!
What?
Okay, have your stick.
What stick?
The stick you
Now we need that last one for spiders. Yeah, we need a stick for spiders. There's a narrow trail that comes down to these woods, and spiders are always stringing webs across it. So I always take a stick to hold out in front of me as I walk. Yeah, this is the original Naked and Afraid, Tracy.
Daddy, a spider was swinging on a web.
Oh, there's a spider swinging on a web. Is it you, Spider-Man?
No,
Oh.
it's a spider was swinging.
Yeah, so rifles were out of reach. And a party of Indians came and threw a tomahawk and hit the older man square in the back. So this caused Simon and his friend to just get up and run. No belongings, no clothes, no rifles. They had to run, or else they would be killed. As they were running, they could hear the screams of the older man. His name was Strader. As the Indians came up and killed him, took his scalp. They took a look back quickly and saw these things and just kept running. They had to separate a little bit and decided to meet at a place where they had camped a few days before. And it continued to rain and rain as it had the preceding days, which is, if you recall that from the story, that's why they were drying their clothes. These guys were still pretty green when it came to surviving in the great outdoors. And thank you, Mattisfaction. Hope you enjoy this story here.
Right there. Where's my
Yeah, there's a bug, huh?
Yeah.
Moth flying around.
Daddy,
So
no.
eventually,
Go fall in the fire.
come sit down on the log, Luke.
I won't fall in the fire.
Huh?
I won't fall in the fire.
I know you won't fall in.
I don't want it.
Okay. Eventually, Simon and his buddy, they met back up again and ran into a party of men who Simon had met previously up at Fort Pitt. Leader of this group of men was, his name was Jacob Greathouse, a very rough man who was well known on the frontier. You want to put that stick in the fire?
No, I'm bringing that in a bit.
Here, let's break it up and we can put that on the fire. The year that this event's taken place is probably 1773 or 4.
No.
What?
No freaking hat.
Well, we're breaking it up to put in our fire. And, you know, Jacob took these young men in, clothed them, gave them new rifles so that they could continue to try to make their life in the wilderness of Kentucky. Eventually, Jacob Greathouse. Luke, don't do that.
Why?
Because that's a fruit tree. We don't want any to fall out. That's a pawpaw tree. Yeah. There's a lot of pawpaw trees here down in these woods. If you don't know pawpaw, it's a native fruit tree to Northern America and grows near water in mid-Atlantic, up maybe into Pennsylvania some, but really not north of there.
It's ruined.
It's very sweet. Kind of tastes like a vanilla custard, if you ever get to find any. It's a little bit tough to eat because it has a lot of really big seeds in it. If you are interested in seeing some of the very first videos I made in YouTube back in 2020.
Daddy, look, it's ruining.
It's okay.
Daddy.
Luke, be careful.
But take a picture of that.
No, we're talking to people here.
Sorry.
I did a few videos about the pawpaw trees down near the creek here, and they are pretty delicious. There was a good amount in 2020, and then last year there wasn't really any. So I don't know if they really only produce fruit every other year. There seems to be some growing this year, so hopefully I get to enjoy some. They're usually ready for harvest mid-September, I think, so they got a while yet, but they are very delicious, and they do not stay ripe very long at all. They have a very short season. That's kind of why you never see them at the grocery store or anything. Our fire's really going out, huh? But anyway, 1774, Jacob Greathouse, he actually started a war. It was called Lord Dunmore's War. There was a lot of hatred toward Indians.
Daddy, why is this laying my stick?
Ow!
Daddy.
Put that in the fire.
No.
Yeah, you just burned your daddy. Ay, ay, ay. Luke, please don't touch those. Come up here. Come, sit on the log.
No, my spot is over there.
Oh, your spot is over there? Okay. Don't step on the lanterns. Ay, 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 ay. So anyway, Lord Dunmore's War, Jacob Greathouse started it by murdering some innocent people. A whole family of Indians, and one of the women, yes, women, he didn't just kill male combatants. He killed a pregnant woman extremely violently. And she happened to be the sister of a guy named Chief Logan. I believe he was of the Miami tribe, if I recall correctly. He was actually born in Pennsylvania. I don't know if my cousin Sean is still on here listening, but Chief Logan was the son of Shikelimis, who Shikellamy High School in Sunbury, Pennsylvania is named after, and then son, Chief Logan, moved to Ohio to get away from being white. Huh? Well, where do you want to sit? Over there in the grass? Okay, don't step on our lanterns. All right, have a seat. Blow on our fire and make it big again.
May's not working.
Grugs, what's up? I'm just sitting here in the woods with my little boy. We made a very, very small fire. It's kind of going out. And we're talking a little history. Talking about the start of Lord Dunmore's war right now. This guy, Jacob Greathouse, murdered a family of innocent Indians along the Ohio River. And a war kicked off from Lord Dunmore, who was the royal governor of Virginia, drew up a militia to go subdue Indians and make travel safe near the Ohio River. A lot of famous people from the frontier were involved in Lord Dunmore's war. You have Simon Kenton, Daniel Boone, George Rogers Clark, Daniel Morgan. All these guys got involved in Lord Dunmore's war, which is actually relatively significant in history. Luke, please don't do that. You're ruining the fire. Aye. So Lord Dunmore's war was fully fought by the Virginia colony and colonial, just regular Virginia militia going out to fight. It was not set up by the crown, by England. So that was a precedent for the Revolutionary War, which would start the next year. But anyway, guys, our fire is out. So we'll probably wrap it up here in a minute. But Lord Dunmore's war really only had one battle, Battle of Point Pleasant, which is near the town of Wheeling, West Virginia. The Indians and the colonial militia went there. It was pretty much an all-day battle. A lot of fighting,
Daddy,
back
look.
and forth throughout the day. I believe it was in September or October 1775. Luke, you gotta leave this stuff alone, son.
But you need to put some more now.
No, you made the fire go out. You did. No, it was you.
Maybe you.
No. You are correct, Hike with Mike. Yeah, these are the people of Lord Dunmore's war. Tecumseh's father. I don't recall his name at the moment. If you do, let me know. But yeah, I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, he would have absolutely have been there.
Daddy, let's go home.
Yeah, we'll go home soon.
Why?
We're just finished telling these people the story.
No.
We're ready to go home and shower and go to bed. Yeah, it's about that time. So anyway, guys, I guess we'll wrap it up. If you're interested in learning more about that stuff, check out the book The Frontiersman by Alan Eckert. It's fantastic. I read it a couple years back, and recently I just finished the audiobook version of it. I did a free trial of Audible from Amazon and got that book and listened to it. A lot of cool stories like the ones I told here. So have a great night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the story. Or you saying goodbye? Kissing goodbye? Yeah, that song mission part 2. That's been a long time coming. One of these days, it will come. It will come.
Daddy,
Have a great night, everybody. We'll do this again sometime.